Hi guys, and welcome back to another IBRACORP video. Now you guys might recognize my voice. As many of you may know, I am Psychotics. I'm here today to show you our latest video, which is going to be on an app that we developed called the IBRAMENU. Now this video is going to be an introduction to the IBRAMENU to explain a little bit on what it does, what it doesn't do, and why you might want to pick it up and give it a try. So let's not stuff around, guys. I'm going to show you IBRAMENU, I'm going to show you how to get going with it, and I'm going to explain a little bit on what it does and why you might want to use it. If you have any comments or feedback on the menu and anything you think you would like to see added to it, be sure to let us know in the comments. We take positive criticism very well, and we'd love to hear your feedback from our community, and that's the whole reason why we're even doing this. I'll explain more in a moment once we get started. So without further ado, let's just get stuck into it. So yeah guys, welcome back. I really appreciate you guys coming in and checking out the channel today. It is a pleasure to have you all here, especially on our first on-screen recording using the brand new camera that we've got set up for you, and show you a little bit more of my personality in person. It's been over a year now with the channel running, and it's really good to be able to get back onto the horse. So let's start off with what is IBRAMENU. Now the IBRAMENU is basically a script, okay? It runs using Bash and powered by Docker and Docker Compose. So basically all it is, if you want to think about it, is a framework in which we have placed predefined templates for Docker Compose in there. The script will then go and execute that and launch Docker Compose. But then we've also tried to make it a little bit smarter by adding some interoperability so that they can talk between each other. All the apps are sort of configured with the same networks and whatnot, so that if you were to use the menu, which we will be using in future videos, we'll basically show you how to install something, and then we'll show you it using the menu. And that way, if you're following our videos, you can literally just use the IBRAMENU to launch whatever it is we're doing a video on and be able to jump in straight away without messing around. But it's really important for me to explain to you guys why you would want to use it. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of different tools out there. There are way more advanced tools out there. There are some with fancy UIs. There are some with way more technical and advanced automation, and we are not trying to compete with any of that. I'm just going to put that right out there right now, because I can already hear a lot of neckbeards getting a little upset at the fact that we're even trying something. And unfortunately, guys, the world's full of people like that, and you just can't sit around waiting for people like that to feel like they're going to be happy with what you're doing. So we're going to do it anyway. And what you guys need to know is that we actually created the IBRAMENU just for us internally. The amount of videos that we cover, the topics we cover, we needed a quick way to get apps up and running, get a video on it, or on our cloud infrastructure. So that's why we've developed this tool. Now, big props to DiskDuck. Thank you very much for your work. It's basically his baby. He developed it for us. And so we really appreciate him being able to be on top of that. And that's another thing to remember. It's literally just the two of us guys, and Duck is handling all of the programming side of things. So, you know, we're doing what we can. It's not meant to be some fully fledged app that is going to change people's lives totally, you know, but look, we're getting there. It's basically just a tool that we wanted to use and wanted to share it with you guys, so you had something that you can use as well. And if you don't want to use it, that's fine, but the tool is there, and it's for free. It's going to be totally free for everybody, not a single cent, nothing like that. It's completely free and open source. And that takes me on to our next point. It is open source, so it's going to be on GitHub, and we would really encourage people to help us develop it further by contributing to it. And it's pretty straightforward. Do you have a Docker Compose already? Match it up with our template and add the tiny little script, which we call the IBRAFUNC, which is the function script, and that will handle everything for you. And if you have a look at our GitHub, once we make this public, you'll find out all about it. We'll do some more videos, I think, on how you can contribute later on. Now, the menu isn't publicly released just yet. We're in release candidate 1, so we're giving it away to people in our team, as well as those who are choosing to purchase a supporter edition. I'll get to that shortly. But for everyone else, the public release will be free, and it will be coming later on this month at this stage. So hang in there. What I'm giving you today is a preview on what it is and how it works, just so you can make a decision whether it's something you either want to support us for, or if you're happy to wait and get it when it comes out for everyone else. So I've roughly explained what it is and what it's not. So hopefully you guys have a fair understanding of what we're actually trying to do here. Like I said, it is a tool that we use, and we just wanted to give it to other people in case you may find it helpful. So let's talk about editions. We have two editions that we are basically releasing. One is the free and open source, and the other one is still the free and open source, but with a donator support perk for those who want to help support our work. Now, the only difference between the two, just so you're aware, or the main difference I should say, is that apart from a couple of, Discord role perks and things like that, just, cosmetic perks, in the menu itself, later on down the track, we are going to be adding some more advanced automation stuff. For example, I'll give you an example before we actually show you the menu you'll see for yourself. One of the options is we want to install Plex. We have another option in the menu to install Sonar. We have another option in the menu to install Radar. What we'll do for our supporters is give you the option to have one button or one menu link, and that will install all of those items for you at once. So it's nothing that you can't get in the free version. It's all there for you, regardless of whether you want to donate or not. And if you do donate, you'll be able to get a couple of extra features that just make what's already in there a little bit more advanced, at least in our sense. And just to keep in mind, we're making this with the resources and the knowledge we have. I'm sure there's a million more ways that we can make it better. And look, at the end of the day, guys, we might hang up our boots and walk away from IBRACORP and call it a day. And I'd be a happy man if we got something out that people can use for as long as they like and doesn't cost them anything. That's the whole point. So it doesn't really bother us about, donations or anything like that. Of course, it's always appreciated, but at the end of the day, our main goal is to get something out there that we've contributed to the community that has helped us so much, which is the free and open source kitty. So this is our gift to our community, basically. All right, so that's enough jibber jabber. Hopefully we've explained all the minute details of what it is and what it's not, and the different editions and things like that. Now, we'll talk about that later. If you want to purchase the early bird package, which we have at the moment, which basically is just going to help support our development until public release, be sure to visit our website, IBRAMENU.io, and you can go to the store there and check out what we've got to show you guys. If you're interested, that is, we hope you will at least check it out and see whether it's something that you could possibly support. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into installing it, and I'll show you guys exactly how it works and how to get it going on your system. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we are. We're on our Ubuntu LXC container. And if you guys don't know how to get this up and running, we did do a video recently with the awesome open source channel on getting an LXC container going. And it is our recommended way of getting the menu going. It will work on anything. If you want to run it on bare metal, if you want to run it in a virtual machine, if you want to run it in LXC, you have all those options. Just keep in mind, we're going to be working with Docker and Docker Compose in the background of things. So you can install it basically anywhere. Now, the script is designed to run on Ubuntu, Debian sort of backend, and that's where we're going to be working today. So we've got a Ubuntu system here running on LXC. Now, for those asking, I get asked quite a lot. This terminal application we're using is called Termius, and I have reached out to Termius to ask them whether they'd like to sponsor a video for us. Unfortunately, they're not in a position at the moment, but we were trying to get something to give you guys, our viewers, some sort of discount on it. Because you've asked for it so much, I thought maybe we'll try and get you a discount, but they haven't really said they had the time for it. So if you guys are interested in that, let Termius know. They're on Twitter. Now, basically, we're here in the menu. I've just created this LXC. It's brand new. It's got nothing in it. Okay, so it's completely flat, and all I've done at this point is SSH'd into it. Now, basically what we have is an install command, and we put that command in and it will install the menu for you, and it's a once-off run. Now, I can't show you the command at the moment because being in beta, we actually have a secret key in there, so I'll have to hide that. But just so you're aware what I'm doing, I'm running that command now. All right. Now you're joining us, you can see that it's currently running the install for the menu, and it creates that folder, and then it launches the menu for us straight away. So welcome to the menu. This is what the menu is starting to look like. We're in release candidate 1, so please bear in mind that some things may change by the time public release hits the shelves. So straight away you're greeted with our message of the day at the top here with some information on your system and the specs that it currently has. You then are offered 2 commands that we can now run. We've got IBRAMENU, and that is pretty simple. And then we have IBRAUpdate. Because we just installed it, we should be on the latest version. Let's type in IBRAMENU. You're going to be prompted to accept our disclaimer. Now, this again is just to cover us guys, because at the end of the day, it's really up to you and your responsibility to understand what's going on with this script Everything is on our GitHub and will be transparent and for you to see exactly what the script is doing at any point. So if you have any concerns about your safety, the safety of your data, anything like that, just bear in mind, we have no intention to do anything ill-informed. However, again, it's up to you to accept that disclaimer. So once we've accepted the disclaimer, that's just once. It will be stored on the system. You won't have to be prompted again, hopefully. The next thing you'll see here is all of the menu options. So as you can see at this point in time, these are the menu options. We have 1 all the way through to 7. And let's go with option 1. This is where I like to start and probably the part that's going to make your lives a lot easier when you're setting up a brand new system. Keep in mind, we haven't done anything fancy. All we did was run a command, typed in IBRAMENU, and here we are. So let's go with option 1. We get a couple of options there, power down the system, we can reboot, or we can show video adapters. Very handy when you guys are setting up a container or a VM for something like Plex. Obviously, we don't need to do any of that right now, so let's go back. And then let's go to option 2. Option 2 is going to give you a lot of the basics that you will really enjoy. So straight away off the bat, what we can do is an apt update and upgrade with a single click. So let's go with 1. And just kick back and relax. Let the menu do its thing and we'll come back once the update is finished. Now, just like any other way you would run the update, it will notice if files have been changed and will ask you whether you want to overwrite them or keep them, which is great. We want that functionality. So we're going to say keep the local version. And this is me basically. We added a setting in here for LXC to allow us to SSH in. All right, now the update has finished and at the bottom we're prompted to either press any key and it also notes us to reboot if the process did a major update or upgrade. So I think it's probably worth you just reboot, especially if it's a brand new system, you've never updated it yet. It's worth doing that. So if we go back in the menu, again, we can do it all within the menu. So we go back to 1 and we'll just say number 2 and reboot. Are we sure? Why? Done. Simple as that. Now being LXC, this is going to take no time at all to restart. So let's click on reconnect and we're back in. So how easy was that? So we're back in the command prompt. Let's go to IBRAMENU again and we're back. We'll go to option 2 once more and you'll see a whole bunch of other things that we really need to get going before we can install apps. 2 is general tools. Now the full list of tools you'll see in the script and will be visible on our GitHub. But a couple of things worth noting, you'll see here as it runs, we have a whole bunch of tools that will install and be ready for us to use whenever we want them. BashTop is one of them, for example. I made sure that one went in there because I find it quite handy to have. And a whole bunch of other programming and language tools that are used very commonly in other apps. There's PS utilities, we've got GDown going in, we've got Ruby going in, and here's BashTop going in now at the end, and Tmux at the end as well. So then we're at the end, it prompts us to continue. And there we go. So general tools are done. Naturally, we want to move on to Docker. So let's go on to Docker. We'll also install Docker Compose. And then we have the option to install Midnight Commander as well. Very handy tool, especially when we're using a lot of file management and we want to do it through the terminal. Now, if you didn't want to do all of those one by one, you could have just picked option 6 and it will install all of them for you at once. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. We're trying to automate it, but we also try to break it down in case, maybe you already have Docker, you just wanted Compose, you can just do that. Now, so on and so forth, guys, that is basically the methodology of how this works. Now, if we go into the early bird menu, for those who are supporting us, we've got a mount manager and then we have the sub menu. Now, this is what I was talking about where we're trying to provide some advanced automation for people who want to help support us. So if we go into 2 and we click on 1, this is our all-in-one media installer for LXC. Now, we recommend LXC, like I said, but it will work off LXC if necessary. Now, if you have a read of that, you can pause it, but basically we're going to be installing all of our main automation apps all at once for us. They're going to be on the same Docker network. We'll also include the amazing theme park themes by Gilb N, which we did a video on recently. Be sure to check that out and help support his project as well. But we've included that in here so that you can have a custom theme set up for all the apps all at once. You'll be asked a whole bunch of questions like your time zone, where your storage is located. If you followed our TrueNAS and Proxmox series, the IBRANAS killer series, you will have learned that we have set up a TrueNAS server as our media server. So we would be able to put all these details in, including our Intel GPU drivers, and it will set everything up for us at once. Now, I'm not going to go through that specifically. Maybe we'll do a set video on that once, it goes public and people can check it out for themselves. But let's say you wanted to do manually. If you don't have the early bird, the public release will have things like media services. So we've got all the same apps that we just talked about ready to go in there as well. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'll go with Radar. So let's click on 4, and we want to install Radar. I don't know if you guys are watching this right now, but it's pretty much nearly done. And there we go. Not only that, it's also given us the link directly to Radar so that we can just click on it and it'll take us straight to our instance. And here it is, up and running in about 10 seconds. So just briefly, I'll just show you some of the other menu items. So then we've got networking if you want to create Nginx proxy manager. And also we have Cloudflare options here to create a tunnel and delete tunnels. So you can't get any easier than that. You set up your Argo tunnel very quickly. We go back. We can create our custom Docker network. We go back again. If we go into security, currently we have Authentic and Vault Warden in there for you. So you can have Authentic up and running like that. We'll go back. And if we go into tools, we then have some really cool items in here. So we've got AdGuard Home for you. We have Apt Cacher, which is going to make it really easy to update all your systems. We've got Homer, we've got Organizer, Portainer. We've got Watchtower to update all your Docker containers for you, ready to go in there. We've got Uptime Kuma as well. Now that's what we have in the menu as of today. And it's really important for me to let you guys know that we are giving you a framework that you guys can work in. Now you can fork this and have your own one if you like. We're giving you the framework. We would really appreciate if you have some cool apps you'd love to see in here to contribute to the project and help other developers out as well. Because if we can make it easier for their apps to be installed, naturally, we're giving them really good exposure and helping support their projects at the same time. So we really see it as a win-win for everyone. So if we just hit X now, we're out of the menu and we're done. Now, if I went and typed in IBRAMENU and there was an update, you'll be prompted to say, hey, there's an update available. If you wish to update, run IBRA update. So we would get out of this. And we would type IBRA update. Now, if I just type that now, it will update it anyway, but there's nothing that's changed. So we don't have to worry about it. Now, like I said, it is using Docker Compose for all of this. So if at any point you just didn't want to use the menu anymore, or you needed to make changes to the configuration of what the menu's done, or any of the apps that you've installed using the menu, from that point, you could just use the Docker Compose files. So if we go cd/opt and we go ls, you'll see 3 folders there. One is app data, the container D, which is the default with Docker, and then IBRACORP. IBRACORP is where the menu lives. So if you need to change anything or whatever, that's where the menu gets installed when you run the install script. All the apps are in app data. So if we go cd app data and we go ls, here's Radar, for example. And if we open that up, there's everything that got installed with the script. So if we go to, for example, nano compose.yml, here is the Docker Compose file. And what you're seeing there are the variables that we've used to be able to map to everything. And so as you can see, you've got the Docker Compose file there, and you can edit that and change whatever you think is necessary. So once you've installed the app, it's done all the hard yards for you. You can then configure it any way you like to make it work any other way you want as well, without having to go to 10 different websites and trying to find the install scripts or the commands for those items as well. So guys, that's the menu. I hope you really enjoyed it. We can't wait to release it to you guys publicly. It is coming very soon. We just want to make sure we iron out a couple of minor things before we roll it out. But just keep in mind that it will be accessible by everyone, and we really hope to see some contributions from the community to help develop it as much as possible. We really enjoyed making it and putting it out there for you. We put as much effort as we can in for a bloke with 2 babies and a bloke living in a completely opposite side of the world. And a big thank you to all of our IBRACORP team members, everyone in the community who has helped support us today. To our admin team, Duck, Hawks, and Mexi, and myself, well done. And we really appreciate everything you guys have done as well. I'm going to leave you on one last thing, which is our roadmap. So at this stage, like I said, we've got the early bird testers who have access to the app. This has already been past our beta stage, who did a lot of testing for us as well. So thank you to the beta team for that. The next stage will be to our broader IBRA team. And for IBRACORP regulars in our Discord server, they will then get the next version. And then finally, the public release will happen after that. We estimate within the next month or so. We'll be sure to announce it all across all of our channels. So we'll do that on Discord, we'll announce it on Twitter, and we'll announce it anywhere else basically we can, and we'll let you know what's going on. I'll chuck it up on the community post for you as well to see that also. And guys, just from me personally, I just wanted to thank you for everything as well. I really appreciate it. It's been a crazy year and I've had a lot of fun doing this, and sometimes it has been pretty stressful. It's hard work trying to create content that people enjoy. So I really appreciate you guys, liking, subscribing, all that's good stuff. So thank you very much. And we can't wait to see you in the next IBRACORP video.